welcome back to another edition of Crossroads. February is Black History Month, and we recently paid a visit to Holy Redeemer Catholic Church on the city's east side. This parish is a unique spiritual home for African Americans in Bexar County. Reverend Kevin Faust is the pastor at Holy Redeemer. He is originally from Missouri and is a Vincentian priest. During his studies in New Orleans, he became interested in African American ministry. On sabbatical in San Antonio, he found Holy Redeemer Catholic Church, and he's been there since May of 2008. Here are the sights and sounds of Holy Redeemer Catholic Church.
But I've been here and came here to Holy Redeemer initially because I wanted to do African American ministry. But the worship, the music, the preaching, the movement, the sense of community was very, very uplifting for me and really fed me and nourished me. And that was a wonderful experience. At that time, the priest at the parish where I was going to in New Orleans, who was the pastor, eventually became a bishop, Ferdinand Cherie, and I just loved the sense of community there and the worship, and I was drawn to that. When I first announced that I was going to be here, I think there was general acceptance. The other thing that was different about me coming here was I was going to live in the rectory, and they had not had a resident pastor for about 25 years. But I think there was a sense of skepticism among some about who's this white guy who's coming here to be pastor? What's he going to do? How will we change? What does that mean for us? Lord, have mercy. Part of it is the people have to test you and in a sense, really see and feel you out what you're going to be like. So yeah, I think there was some questions initially whenever I first got here. And there were times when I felt that, when I felt a bit of rejection. But overall, there was great acceptance and great love and great happiness that they had a pastor and that the pastor was living here and the pastor wanted to be here in this community and in this neighborhood. When Jesus and his disciples arrived at Bethsaida, people brought to him a blind man and begged Jesus to touch him. Whenever you feel that people accept you into their hearts and that you belong, and that I guess I really felt it a couple of times when I had one of my ushers looked at me. We were talking one Sunday, and he said to me, he said something, and it triggered, and I said, "Well, I'm not black. I'm white." Putting spittle on his eyes, he laid his hands on the man and asked, "Do you see anything?" And he said, "You're kidding me." And I said, "Well, look at me." Then he laid his hands on the man's eyes a second time, and he saw clearly. He said, "No, all this time I thought you were black." He said, "You look just like my cousins in Louisiana." And there's many colors, there's many shades. People brought him a blind man. I believe that we, as people of faith who follow the gospel, who follow Jesus Christ, are called to be people who bring others to Jesus Christ, bring others to the faith, bring others to that light and that knowledge and that truth that Jesus gives. Let us be and let us continue to be people who are willing to evangelize, to reach out, to bring those who are in darkness into the light, by inviting, by asking, by the witness of our very lives. I think what you would experience if you walked in the doors of Holy Redeemer, first of all, is a sense of welcome, that you're welcome here. And that doesn't matter if you're African American, if you're Hispanic, or Anglo, or male, or female, or new to the city, or have been in one of the other parishes, you're going to feel welcome here. That's the first thing I think you would experience. The second thing I think you would experience is a difference in music. Music that we sing here is different than the traditional Catholic music that you might hear, but you're going to hear music that has more of a gospel flair. And we clap, we sway, we move, and so that gesture and all that movement is a part of who we are.
I love it. I get choked up every week. It's probably my favorite part.
I think you would find here at Holy Redeemer a different style of preaching than what you would find in many of the parishes here in the Archdiocese of San Antonio. Now that doesn't mean there aren't good preachers elsewhere, but I think that, you know, the people here expect you to preach well, And as one who does preach, to get some feedback. You can get amens, you can get laughter, you can get preach, you can get yes Lord, you can get all kinds of comments as you're proclaiming the homily, and so you're going to get some feedback. And my preaching style is such that I can be behind the ambo, but I do move away from the ambo. And when I do move away from the ambo, I get very close to the congregation. Why would we need a Black Catholic Church? Well, originally we needed it because blacks were relegated to the back of the church and weren't accepted in the church. And so therefore, to have your own place of worship where you could come and be with people who looked like you, who celebrated like you, who worshiped like you. You know, San Antonio at one time had 3 Black Catholic churches. Holy Redeemer is the only one that has survived. And so to those Black Catholics who've persevered and who've been here over the years, I say congratulations to you, because really you fought the fight and you carried the torch forward. To those African Americans throughout the Archdiocese who maybe have not experienced Holy Redeemer, I would invite them to come home. It's great that we have and had a Holy Redeemer over the years, and it just represents in a very clear way the rich cultural diversity of the church here in Texas, the church here in the Archdiocese of San Antonio. A big part of that culture I think would be missing if there was not Holy Redeemer.
We have people here that love this church, that give up their energies to be part of it, and also the energy that is here, either through the people or through the music, has brought this church where it is now. You know, where we are so diversified in terms of ethnicity because the culture here is a welcoming culture.
When you look at our new sanctuary and when you look at the Stations of the Cross that are in the old sanctuary, they're Afrocentric. So Jesus is portrayed as an African American. And if you look at the Stations of the Cross closely, you will find that there's social justice aspects in those Stations of the Cross, such as policemen and guards and things like that. Our crucifix behind the altar is ebony. There are medallions. Those medallions are made of ebony and padak, which are woods from Africa. If you look at our stained glass windows, Mary and Jesus are portrayed as black. Again, they tried as much as possible whenever they built the church for there to be things that people who are African American could identify with. We do participate in the Martin Luther King March every year, and that's important for us. One of the things that I think I can say about Holy Redeemer is that we are socially active. We've been active in COPS Metro from the beginning. Through Christ our Lord. Holy Redeemer, the Catholic Church, African Americans have a place and we have a voice, and I speak in the name of Holy Redeemer, and so I'm happy to be able to do that. What keeps me here? Again, it has to be for me the liturgy, the worship. It feeds me spiritually. It feeds me in so many ways, and I like the sense of community, and I feel like I belong. I feel like this is where I belong.